Hello everyone. Today we will understand what is called as white box testing. Before starting white box testing, let's understand how software testing is being broadly classified. So software testing is basically classified into two main parts. First is called as static testing and the other is called as dynamic testing. So here you can see in this diagram, static testing is also called as verification, while dynamic testing is also called as validation. So there is a difference between these two testing, static testing and dynamic testing. So today we are only focusing about white box testing only, and we will try to understand that what does that mean. So here you can see in this diagram that white box testing is a part of dynamic testing. So white box testing and black box testing combines together to form a dynamic testing. So let's try to understand what does that mean, white box testing. Well, you can see here a program. Suppose there is a one big project and we have to do testing on that project. So you can see here that this is the source code. So I've taken us this very small example to explain you the concept of white box testing. Normally when there is a big project, there are multiple functions, there are multiple procedures and so many lines of source code available. So when the programmers write that source code, that need to be tested further, right? So you can see that these source codes, we have different programs, we have different functions. So once these are written by programmers, they need to be tested also, right? So when the programmer do testing on that source code, whether it's a function, whether it's a program, that kind of testing is called as white box testing. What does that mean? It is a part of dynamic testing technique which is carried out by programmers. Now one thing you have to note here, that this white box testing is not expected to done by manual testers. So white box testing is done by programmers only. It means those persons who have written the code, they only have to do white box testing, right? So because the testers, manual testers, they are not expected to have programming knowledge, so they cannot check or they cannot verify the source code which is written in some language. So normally the source code is written in some programming language. We have, it can be Java, it can be C Sharp, it can be .NET, any programming language. So for that, who is going to verify the source code, they need to understand the programming language behind it, right? So manual testers are not expected to have programming language expertise. So that's why black box testers or manual tester cannot do white box testing. So only the programmers who have the knowledge of programming skills, programming methodologies, they can only do white box testing. So how do they do white box testing? So I will show you one example here. So you can see this is a small program which is written in VB scripting. So here you can see that this is a very smallest program. It's a small unit. So it's a simple program which does comparison of two numbers A and B. So suppose this need to be tested. This is the source code which is written by programmer and it need to be tested further. So when the testing of this program will be done by the programmers, it will be called as white box testing. And white box testing is further divided into two parts. First is called as unit testing and the other is called as integration testing. So we will understand unit testing and integration testing in detail in our further videos. Today we will be only focusing on white box testing. So here you can see the definition of white box testing is, it is a dynamic testing technique which is carried out by developers to validate their code works as expected or not. In other words, testing conducted on the source code by developers to ensure the code coverage. Now here comes some very important term, code coverage. What is code coverage? Code coverage is the technique which helps us to determine whether all the lines of the source code is has been tested by the programmer or not. So for doing code coverage, we have different kind of techniques. We have statement coverage, we have path coverage, we have loop coverage, condition coverage. So this is one of the very important topic for software testing. Even for the people who want to qualify ISTQB certification exam, for that point of view also, this code coverage is very important topic, because most of the questions are put up from the code coverage. So we will be covering code coverage in detail in our next video, because that is a very important topic in software testing. And then it is also the white box testing is also called as clear box testing, glass box testing, and structural testing. Why it is called clear box testing? Any idea? It is called clear box testing because the programmers can easily access to the source code, which is itself written by themselves only. Because but black box testing is done by manual testers, and they are not able to access the source code. So there is a difference. It means like here nothing is hidden. So the source code is visible to the programmers. That is why it is called glass box testing, or clear box testing, or white box testing, or structural testing. So it is further divided into unit testing and integration testing. So we will learn what is unit and integration testing in our next videos. And integration testing is also one of the very important topic in manual testing. So we will understand what is that, and we will also be covering what are the different techniques which are used in integration testing. We have top to down approach, we have bottom to up approach, stubs, drivers. So all with these things will be discussed in our next video. Thank you.